Hey, Mike Simmons here. For those of you who don't know, my role is I work with Forsyth County Schools, and I kind of have a dual role. I've been doing training and development. I help to diagnose problems, pair them with solutions. We come up with helpful insights, and we look at ticket trends. And this past school year, we had 27,736 tickets. Our average response time has been 7.1 hours, and resolution time, we're averaging about 2.3 days. Now that's a little skewed because we went one-to-one, and some of these tickets that flowed in had to do with Chromebook billing. And so, but the response being within the same day, that's incredible. That's really good. And even just having the tickets closed within a matter of a couple days turnaround, that's incredible too. I really appreciate everyone's hard work, but I wanted to explain how we got there. So we'd have over the school year, we did a training called Tech Talk Tuesday. And so we take a day that's midweek and we kind of separate out about an hour, and we would train and develop everyone on, here are some new things that we're learning, because technology is ever evolving and growing and changing. And so I took that information and I would just create it into a training session. But then I thought, well, let's take it one step further. And that's when I started gathering. Anytime we found a ticket problem, I would document the steps of solution. And I would look at the trends of, well, how did we get to the solution? And time again, we really needed to have a place to be able to refer to and to say, okay, well, how did we get to the solution? And if it worked at this site, it could work at other sites, and it can help the whole district, actually. So that's when I created the knowledge base. Now, originally, the knowledge base was found inside of Incident IQ, and I had kind of created categories and topics. And I said, if you have an account issue, here's documentation on how to fix it, and a lot of help and how-to. And, if you come across this problem, here's how you fix it. Like if I need to update the badge, here's step-by-step how I do it. But the problem quickly came is I had to use these tags. See tags over here? And the tags would sometimes, you'd find the article, sometimes you wouldn't. And so with the rise of artificial intelligence and being able to use a little bit smarter search, that's where NotebookLM, I paired up with that. So here I've got 153 sources, and I've started to comprise sources myself. And I actually launched a YouTube channel because I was documenting the solutions via video, because it would a visual step-by-step would be really helpful. Some people, they can look at steps on a page and be able to read that and say, okay, that's how you do it. Other people, they might be able to want to see how it's done. And then sometimes I would go on site physically. I'd say, okay, well, let me come show you. And I would work alongside that site technician. And this takes time. So I was developing the knowledge base over the course of the past couple of years. And, surprisingly, like we come across something like, well, how do I update my panel from Windows 10 to Windows 11? We had to figure that out this year and roll that out as a project this summer. And so we had almost 4,000 panels that we had to update. But I had to take time to work with the sysadmin team and figure out, okay, what are the documented steps? How do you do it? So then I had to put that into some kind of an SOP, or here's how everyone should do it. So I'm going to put on here, how do I update a ClearTouch panel to Windows 11? And so I could search here, and it would give me a step-by-step on how to do it. And then I actually traveled on site to work with each site technician to kind of get the ball rolling and to get it started. And of course, that takes time to be able to kind of show people hands-on in person. And then if you encounter this type of error, this is what you do to fix it. And then so I was traveling the district most of the summer, just navigating toward problems to find solutions. And I do that throughout the school year too. And then I take the problems and solutions, we find the helpful insights, and we find the trends, And then I actually launched something called the weekly recap. And so the weekly recap is we would take what we learned from last week and we would apply it to this week. So I typically launch the weekly recap on a Monday. I did like a podcast format, and I would just talk through, here's some problems, helpful insights, and then here's how you do it. So the other thing I like about the knowledge base is it takes the solutions and it formats it in an easy to read, easy to follow format. So I could put the raw data in about here's how you do it, but then here it would just kind of take you step by step on how to do it. Preparing the flash drive, putting the correct files on the root of the flash drive, booting the panel using F7 to get to the boot menu, and then selecting the flash drive to be able to walk through the process. And then this showed each and every person, this is how you update a panel from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And that's just one example of a problem that we needed a solution or documentation of this is how you do it. So whether it's a project, whether it's a ticket, whatever it is that we're supporting technology in Forsyth County Schools, the knowledge base has become critical. And it's something that I'm passionate about because I love supporting the site. I love sharing solutions that I found and being able to just share it with others. And then also finding and collaborating with site technicians. So I would work with our incredible team, and they would find out, hey, Mike, if you run into this problem, do this, and this is the solution. And then I would document that. I'm thinking about George with printing. He would talk about, Mike, whenever you're getting DHCP reservations, or whenever you're trying to get the .80 printing, or migrating from the old FCS printers to the print deploy, we got to tell all the techs this information. And so I became kind of a deliverer of information for the district. And I've also had initiated something called Site Tech Support Chat. And so in the moment, if they were having issues, we could reach out and then figure out, okay, well, what are the steps? How do we fix it? And how do we make it right? And so having the knowledge base at everyone's fingertips to be able to find solutions to common problems, and then having a chat really helped speed things up as we were resolving those almost 30,000 tickets for the last school year. And I think it's invaluable. I think it's helping. In fact, I know it's helping because our response time, our resolution time, it keeps improving year over year over year. And our feedback, the 5-star surveys that we're getting, it's proving that we're hitting the mark. And so as I've been training everyone as you're approaching the ticket and the problem, please do that so with communication skills, speed of service, and your quality of work. And that's going to make a huge difference. And we're circling back with the user, verifying resolution, and it just makes things work a lot better. And our overarching goal, after all, is to minimize technology downtime. Because at the end of the day, as we're safe, connected, and thriving, we want to make sure the connected piece that we're keeping people connected, that we're not disconnected, and that we have every opportunity to learn. And so I just wanted to give kind of an overview of the knowledge base and of what I've been doing here at Forsyth County Schools. And I thank you so much for watching.